Hello, everyone. We are back. It is the Canadian Bowler Show. First time in a long time, Daryl, but we are back. Michael Patulli, and I'm joined by my fabulous co-host, Daryl Fitzgerald. How are you doing, Daryl?
Doing good, Mike. Getting ready for Christmas. We've got our shirts on. I'm glad to be off of work right now. I know not everybody is, but I'll take it where I can get it.
Yeah, I'm about the same. I got another day of work left, but we're just about there. We're just about at the beginning of the holiday season, so it'll be nice to have a couple days off. Well, since we are here, we got lots to cover. We went way too long between episodes, and there was a lot of stuff that happened. So we're gonna just jump right into it. Since we are here, we're gonna do those normal reminders, hit those like, comment, subscribe buttons. Any interaction you give us really does help propel the channel forward. We do appreciate any sort of comments, anything that you do on the videos here, so please do hit those buttons. If you're not able to catch the show live, we're on all major podcasting platforms within the week, and we're on YouTube the moment that we're broadcasting here, so you can check the show out after the fact as well. Quick reminder, sponsor the show, bowlsincanada.com. They're a Henselite supplier for North America. They have a terrific selection of Henselite lawn bowls, bags, and just lawn bowling equipment. They have some pretty awesome new Henselite bowls bags that they've just recently gotten in stock. So if you are needing a last minute Christmas gift, or I guess a gift that you're going to get for someone in the early new year, definitely do check out bowlsincanada.com because they do have stock and they have a terrific selection of lawn bowls equipment. So Daryl, we can jump right into it. Lots to cover. I suppose we might as well kind of do it's a dual topic if we're gonna just jump into it, because Kelly McCarahan is a pretty spectacular lawn bowler. So we have a couple different things that we need to cover when it comes to respect to her. So a few weeks back, probably over a month ago, if we look at the calendar, I think she attended the Hong Kong Classic with Emma Boyd from Canada, and they played in the singles and the pairs. Did you want to cover sort of the results and what happened there, Daryl?
Yeah, we'll go through them all. So let's flip over to some of the photos we got. There's a picture of the men's and women's singles champions. So we'll go through singles first. Gold in the men's went to Ian McLean from Scotland. Silver went to Kyle Hansen from Australia. Bronze went to Daniel Davies Jr. from Wales. And bronze went to Stephen Sy. Flipping over to the women's singles, gold went to Cheryl Chan. Silver went to Rosita Bradburn from the Philippines. Bronze went to Izzy White from Wales. And the other bronze went to Briar Atkinson from New Zealand. So good singles field, lots of players. Really cool to see some local people get in there, but also see Philippines in there. Yeah, you don't necessarily see their name up there all the time, but that's really cool. Pairs. We've got the picture of the men's and the women's champions there. Oilers. Men's pairs went to Scotland, Ian McLean and Darren Gualtieri. Silver went to England, Harry Goodwin and Tom McGuinness. Bronze went to Ireland, Aaron Tennant and Adam Rankin. And bronze went to the Hong Kong China B team of Tony Chung and Lyndon Sham. Unfortunately, didn't have all the pairs photos from this event. They didn't post ones like they did for the singles. And then the big one, gold in Canada for Kelly McCarahan and Emma Boyd. Silver went to England, Emma Cooper and Harriet Stevens. Bronze went to Malaysia, Noor Farah Abdullah and Noor-Ain Nabila Tarmizi. And bronze went to New Zealand, Briar Atkinson and Selena Goddard. So, thoughts on that, Mike?
Well, yeah, obviously a very significant result. I know the tournament itself had lots of weather issues. So if you sort of paid attention to the event at all, they kept going in and out of playing indoors, outdoors, just dependent on essentially a monsoon that was blowing through Hong Kong at the time. So I think 3 or 4 different times they had to switch if they were playing indoor or outdoor. And like that final that the ladies played, they played the indoor on the, or they played the final on the indoor when initially it was supposed to be an outdoor game. It's a fun game to watch, obviously, when you know the people involved and get to see it. I think I was at a hockey game and then you told me to sort of tune in because it was going down to the tiebreaker.
Yeah.
And then I think I tuned in like 10 seconds before Kelly threw a hit on her last bowl to sit game. And then England had a pretty narrow draw to go in for the win, and they just pulled up a little bit short. So pretty awesome to watch it. Congratulations to Kelly and Emma. Obviously a huge result for them. Both players out of essentially Australia full time now. It's great to see that they got the invite and then also did very well in the pairs and ended up winning it all.
Yeah, I mean, what can you say about the year that Kelly had? Fantastic results all around, and this just was kind of, the icing on it, the cherry on the cake, whatever you want to, cherry on the sundae, I guess would be it. Whatever you want to call it. She had a fantastic year, and I mean, no slouch in her own right. Emma, just tearing up tournaments, tearing up events, coming back with her own results and being part of this. She's obviously a force to be reckoned with in the future because she just keeps getting better and better. So it looks really, really good for the women's side of Canadian international bowls, for sure.
Yeah, no, it's huge to see them go there, sort of put that stamp on things, because probably going to be a pairs team we're going to see for years to come, I would assume. And it was great that they were able to get that result. So once again, congratulations to both of them. To stick with that one name, as I said, it's essentially a dual topic. Just a couple days ago, the World Bowls rankings came out, the updated World Bowls rankings, and Kelly McCarahan is #1 in the world. So congratulations to Kelly. It really was, you said it previously, a very spectacular year out of her, between the Australian Open, Australian Championships, Hong Kong Classic, now this. Like she really did do pretty much about everything and anything she could have this year. So very well deserved. I know she puts in a lot of time and effort down there. So once again, congratulations to Kelly. That's spectacular to see her on #1 there.
Yeah, I can pop up sort of the rankings currently. On the men's side, I mean, I don't, until he completely stops bowling, which I think is coming up. Aaron Sheriff, #1 again. Just awesome player all around. I mean, one of my favorites to watch in any format. You've got Jack McShane, #2, Ian McLean, #3. We just talked about him at the Hong Kong Classic, so he's been putting up a lot of points. And then Wayne Roberts from South Africa, #4. And then over to the women, Kelly McCarahan, #1. Like, just fantastic to see a Canadian at the top of the charts. And then one of the others we talked about got bronze at the Hong Kong Classic, Noor Farah Abdullah from Malaysia. Then you've got Kelsey Cottrell from Australia, #3, and Christina Christic from Australia as well at #4. So really good names up there, but currently Kelly is the queen of the castle, so good for her.
Yes, very cool. It's a nice added feature, that World Bulls ranking list. It really does commemorate or acknowledge people for the great results they have. So it's actually nice to see the updates. I think they're doing it a couple times a year, and so it is pretty cool to obviously see a Canadian there. We've seen Canadians on the list. They didn't even add in the national points. So if you attended the nationals, I believe we're both ranked. Actually,
We're
I think yeah, when I went and looked at it, we're like 700 and something ranked in the world, both of us. But all of the points have been updated for the year. So people who have played in multiple different events, if you got some points in like the Canadian Championships and maybe another event if you played in it. It is interesting to go look up and see who has ranking points, and it's kind of just a fun little thing. If you are a super competitive bowler and able to rack up those points, I think it is a big deal for a lot of the top end players. So it's a great added feature. I quite enjoy seeing it get updated every now and again.
Yeah, hey, I mean, if I had the money, time, and ability to play in some of the big events and could actually work my way to number one, that would be my goal. For anybody that's, if I was hovering up there, because that's pretty cool to say you were number one in the world.
Yeah, it's a huge brag, definitely.
Oh,
and
yeah.
look like Kelly got an award or something like that too. So I'm sure she'll be able to put that on her mantle
That's
and
cool.
cherish that for years to come. So we can move on. I think if I'm going in the string of events, how things happened, I believe the US Open was after the Hong Kong Classic. People can roast me in the chat if I'm wrong and have these events the way that things have gone off. But the US Open occurred, would have been what, mid-November?
Yep.
Somewhere in that range. Yep. So we can bring you the results of that. So I don't know do you have pictures for these, Daryl?
I do.
So the winner of the women's singles was Kate Carriage from Australia. And second place was Ann Nunez. And third place was Jordan Koss. So two names that we're very familiar with in the North American bowls world, with Ann and Jordan. And then Kate, I believe she might actually be living in America now. I kind of just through the little bit of looking at it and then the commentary, as I think she might actually be someone who lives in America now, but she's originally from Australia. But she placed pretty well in a couple of the events, so congratulations to her, and then Ann and Jordan, obviously. For the women's pairs, the winners were Janice Bell and Ann Nunez. Second place was Rebecca Nguyen and Anna Witt. And third place was Rachel Larson and my mama, Harriet Patuli.
Awesome.
So congratulations, obviously. Janice and Anne. Anne had a very productive week, so congratulations to them. To everyone there, actually. And for the women's fours, once again, Ann Nunez, Candy DeFazio, friend of the show, Julia Gallo, and Janice Bell. Second place was Lynn Cools, Linda Ing, Kate Carriage, and Kathy Selsler. And third spot was Laura Seed, Sandy McKenzie, Anne Morissette, and Gloria Chung. So lots of familiar names in the fours. Again, obviously, that Anne and Janice had a very productive week. And then friend of the show, as I said, Julia, interviewed her previously, now member of Team USA. So very strong team there. And then sort of as we highlighted, Kate, very good week out of her too. And then I guess other friend of the show, Kathy Selsler, on that second place for his team. Some faces we might recognize here as well. So the winners of the men's fours was Greg Wilson, Rob Law, Roy Riggy, and John McDonald. Second place was an English team, Jack Larder, Peter Boldero, Jack Wells, and John Tufts. Third was Billy Parker, Raymond Barr, Tony Budd, and Norm Thompson. They're from Ireland. If we could just backspace, I love the attire. I'm not sure if you can bring these photos back up. That is some tremendous Bulls shorts that we got going on there from the English boys, and then even the winners with Greg, Rob, and company there. They have some pretty nice shirts on too. So love the pink, love the flamboyant attire. Very nice.
I don't think that's Bulls England approved for for competition.
Say some pretty short shorts too.
They
So
are too.
as I say, you might get a person pulling out the ruler to see if it's within a couple inches of the knee or something like that. But congrats to everyone. The winner of the men's pairs was Chris Dodd and Tom Richardson. Second place was Charlie Herbert and Sadri Jazari. Third place was Bob Schneider and Rob Benecki. Winner of the men's singles was Bill Brault. Second place was Charlie Herbert. And third place was Abe Pinella. So congratulations to everyone there. Charlie, I guess if we're highlighting the men's, Charlie had a pretty good week, winning one and second place in the other. So congratulations to him, and well, congratulations to everyone. It was always nice to see the results. I love the US Open, specifically when it's in Arizona. I love to make my way there, but there's only so much holiday time in the world, so I wasn't able to attend. But congrats to everyone. I do enjoy seeing that event run every year. It's one of the top events in North America year after year.
Yeah, I mean, packed field of players from all over the place. If you looked at the actual registration and entries, so those are just a few of the names that rose to the top. And obviously, there was a theme. A few players had some really good weeks in there. Obviously, Kate Ann and Janice Bell going across multiple disciplines and taking down a medal in some form. And then Charlie Herbert coming in on a couple, and then seeing some of the Canadian boys top the charts on the men's fours was pretty cool. Greg, Rob, Roy, and John, the Alberta team, they've got some great players out there in Alberta, and it shows right there.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't know if that team's ever really played together because a couple of them are from different cities and they're kind of a mismatch of guys. But obviously, when you put a couple high end ingredients together, they sometimes can work well and make things happen. So, congrats to them. I'm sure that's a bit of a thrill to win in a big event like that. And I know they really did look like they enjoyed themselves. And I imagine that final would have been quite a spectacle because those English guys, I'm sure, with those pink shorts were pretty flamboyant. I think I heard from people that they're a very rowdy team as well, so I can imagine that final would have been quite the thing to listen to between the two teams, because I don't think Greg and company would have been particularly quiet either. So would have been fun to watch.
Yeah, big shout out to Bulls USA for streaming a bunch of the stuff. They've been kind of ramping up their ability to stream events. So that was really cool. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to catch a lot of it during like work time and all that kind of stuff, but definitely tried to hop on and watch when I could. And so great job there, and hopefully they keep that up.
Yeah, agreed. I definitely enjoyed it, and I think their intention is to keep it going forward. So it's always nice to see more Bulls streaming in North America.
Yeah, absolutely. Cool.
So if we move on in what I believe is the string of events, shortly after this was the World Bulls Champion of Champions. So we had Canadian and American content in that event. So we had Canadian Bowler Open champion Claire Day, and also Canadian Bowler Open Tag Team champion Pat Bird as the representatives for Canada. I'll maybe let you. I've done a lot of talking here, Daryl. I feel like you can do this one.
Sure. Champions. There's a good shot of all the competitors there at the Browns Bay Bowling Club in Auckland, New Zealand. It went from November 25th to 30th. There was 29 men, 24 women from across 30 countries competing 9 rounds of sectional play, and then knockout, quarterfinals, semifinals, finals. So a lot of bowls, a lot of players. Really cool to see some countries that don't get represented a lot in other areas, and you'll see that in the results, which is kind of cool as well. We'll start off with the women's singles. So, I'll start off with the men's singles. How about that? I ordered these perfectly. So men's singles gold, Lee Schreiner from Australia. He's won it before, so this is the second time. Fantastic bowler. He doesn't always come up in the conversation of some of the top bowlers in Australia, just because you've got some of the flashier names and some that have won like a Commonwealth, like in Aaron Wilson or Aaron Sheriff. But Lee is a fantastic bowler. He's got a ton of titles to his name, so not surprised that he ended up top here. Aiden Takura from New Zealand getting the silver. Ross Owen from Wales getting a bronze. And Paddy Bird from Canada with his bucket hat taking down a bronze as well. We got to get him a black one so it matches his attire rather than the white hat, I think. On the women's side, quite a mix of countries, which is really cool. So Malika Nathan from Tonga taking down the champion and champions. Then you have Ann Nunes from the USA coming in with a silver. She had a great week as well. Almost made it the back-to-back, which is the big story. Will she win kind of back-to-back, which is kind of cool. Leanne McGorman from Australia taking a bronze. And Steph Branfield from England taking a bronze as well. Quite an event. Talking about some of the weather issues in many of the events that we've had, including the Hong Kong Classic, but this one for sure. If you're watching any of the finals, you noticed they were running squeegees across the greens, and they were rolling through puddles and all sorts of stuff. Quite a difference from the previous year, where it was mostly just a ton of wind that they were fighting on really fast greens. So now it was just varying weather and a lot of wet. So really cool to watch. If you haven't watched it, go check it out. Bowls New Zealand has all the event stuff on their YouTube and Facebook, I'm sure, so you can go back and see some of the stuff. But cool results. What are your thoughts, Mike?
Pretty much the same as you. Like, I think we were watching it together actually at the same time, the stream, and it really was. Weather was a humongous factor during the men's semifinal. Like when Pat was playing, it was obviously fine. Like it started to rain, and you could see the greens sort of going downhill as Pat went through his game, and then once the women's final started, you could really see that the green was essentially flooded or starting to flood, and then you could see like the cattails on the bowls. So as they rolled, they were just spraying water, and then like I think the green probably, I counted it at one point, slowed down a good 3 seconds probably, just with the rain. So it was quite interesting to see it occur in real time, and they kept playing because it was still playable, I suppose. But yeah, it was fun to watch. It's as you said, Tonga. Sounds like she was a player who like regularly bowls in New Zealand, yeah. But obviously Anne almost winning back to back is huge. It would have last year, it was a big result to have her win, but then obviously to fight her way there, get to that final again, proves that she definitely belongs and is one of the top players in the world. And Pat winning that third place, very cool as well. Always nice to see a Canadian in there, and as you're saying, we got to get him that black bucket hat, and he'll be looking real good in those Canadian jerseys.
Yeah, I mean, it's a cool event. I enjoy watching it, seeing who kind of pops out from every country, knowing some of the people from, like in England and Scotland, Australia, New Zealand, wherever, if they're sending competitors there. But seeing some new players, like Tonga, I'd never seen bowl before, so it was kind of neat to see her bowl, and then realize like she's bowling really well and she's getting all the way to the final, which was awesome. And then seeing Lee Schreiner go through the field and get to where he was, not really a surprise. I expected him to be at least in the semifinals, all things being equal. But watching Pat go through, kind of one-upping his performance from last year and getting into the medals, was nice to see. He's had a string of great years, including this year, not just domestically, but now he's got that Champion of Champions medal. So really cool results and a really good event. So congratulations to all the winners, and some North American content is always nice too.
Yes. Okay. So I guess we can move on to the next string of events. In my mind, was the World Junior Indoor Championships.
I think that's right.
So lots happened here. So World Junior Indoor Championships, we had Canadian representation and American representation there again as well. We had Owen Kirby from Canada, and once again Emma Boyd from Canada. So Emma made multiple trips to Hong Kong in about a 1 month span. There's the overall photo of the whole group. Kind of hard to see them, but they're in the kind of the middle back there. That's where the Canadians are, and front right would be the Americans. Kind of front right middle, I guess, or second row middle. But anyways, that's the whole squad there. Again, sort of as you kind of said with the other events, there's a few countries that you don't typically see at this event, so it was kind of cool to see who got combined with who, because some countries only sent a male or a female, so then they kind of got paired up with either Hong Kong players or players from all over the world. So it's very interesting to see the different combos of teams. The winners of the mixed pairs were Team Australia, which is Kira Bork and Kane Nelson. Second place was Ruby Hill and Aaron Johnson from England. Bronze was Lizandri Hildebrand and Alwyn Martingone from South Africa. And the other bronze winners were Sophie McGrother and Paul Innes from Scotland. The winner of the ladies singles was Rebecca Rickson from Malta. Second place was Angelica Abadayo from the Philippines. And bronze was shared between Sophie McGrother from Scotland and Emma Boyd from Canada. The winner for the men's singles was Kane Nelson from Australia. And second place was Paul Innes from Scotland. And third was shared between Corey William Davies from Wales and Ip Kaking Quentin from Hong Kong, China. So yeah, congratulations. Again, Hong Kong's pretty nice to Emma there. Like if we're looking at a 1 month span, she won a gold classic and then bronze in the pairs. Owen and her did make it to the quarterfinals for the mixed pairs. Didn't quite get through to the semis and onwards. But both of them put in pretty respectable showings. Well, to get there, and then for her to obviously get a medal, that's a big showing. Again, kind of out of the box results country wise on that ladies side for the indoor. Malta, not a nation we typically see winning to win, and then the Philippines again. So multiple successes for the Philippines and Hong Kong in a matter of a month. So congrats to everyone there. It was nice to see those results. I like following this event just because it has the combo of the mixed pairs and the singles, and kind of has a kind of bit of an action packed, I guess, like 1 week where they play a lot of bowls.
Yeah, I mean, some of the names up there are, I mean, I won't say names, but even just countries. Not surprising, Australia, England, Scotland are usually three of the top in the mix. You know, interchange them a little bit, and year to year, they're always in those medal spots. Rebecca Rixon, part of that Rixon family that pulls from Malta. They've had some pretty good successes recently in playing, and this is a huge one for Rebecca. They do bowl in Australia predominantly, so it's no surprise that they can handle the faster greens. But cool result, and yeah, again, Philippines, they're making a splash, so that's cool to see as well.
Yeah, it's always nice to see the developing, if we'll call it that, Bulls nations continue to get results, because I know Philippines is one of those countries that has started to pop up specifically in like the Bulls Asia events. You're starting to see that they're one of the teams that's competing with like a Malaysia and a Hong Kong to win most of the events. So obviously got some solid players and some solid development going on there. And then yeah, not really surprises when it's an indoor championship and you keep seeing the regular England, Scotland, and Australia popping up there. Because I think if we're talking about the countries that predominantly play indoor or have the ability to play indoor, we're probably talking about those three countries. So congrats to everyone again.
Really cool to see. I mean, we talked about the mix of players and mix of countries in there, but you don't usually, when you think of sports, you're not usually thinking the U.S. is a country that lacks in talent and numbers of players and all that kind of stuff. But in bowls, that's just a fact that they don't have that many bowlers for the size of country that they are. But it was really cool to see, whether they got great results or not, but at least they were participating. They had a male entry and a female entry, which we haven't seen in a very long time. So hopefully we can see that continue, because that is something that I think they really need, and it would be great to see for just North American bowls that we have, two countries that are entering these things on a regular basis.
Yeah, no, it was very nice to see them in there. The female bowler that went there for Bulls USA, I don't have her name in front of me right now, but she was the youngest player in the event. She was, I believe, 14 years old. So obviously a great experience for someone that young to get an opportunity to go play at a event such as this. So it's very nice to see her name there. A female bowler from the USA, because I think it's, even in my lifetime, I don't think there's been a U25 female bowler from the United States. So she's 14 too. I expect we're going to see her name for quite a long time. Angel, still pretty young, so we're probably going to see him for quite a few years as well. But very cool, exciting to see the development and just the game pushing forward in North America.
Cool. What do you got next, Mike?
I don't even know. I think that's the results that we have. What are we doing next? You can steer me forward from here, Daryl.
Well, we can announce some stuff about the Canadian Bowler Open. So last year we did our very first run at running an event through this channel and through the Canadian Bowler kind of entity. Mike and I put our heads together and came up with sort of a concept, singles and pairs over 4 days. We were able to run it in Calgary at the Calgary Lawn Bowling Club. It was an awesome event. Ran really well. Everything went probably beyond our expectations. I think I can say for the both of us. So we are planning to do it again in 2025. We aren't opening registration yet. We don't have everything set in stone, but we are working through it. Obviously, it's the holidays, so things are going to be a little slower with people on vacation and family and all that fun stuff. But we're working through the details. We are planning to run it again on the long weekend, kind of August into September, Labor Day weekend. We are running it at Calgary Lawn Bowling Club. We're still ironing out some of the details on kind of format and amount of players and all that fun stuff. But at least we can announce that we're running it. So keep your ear to the ground, watch the channel, watch our socials. Make sure you're following us on Facebook, Twitter, wherever you get that news, because we will be announcing dates and registration open and all that kind of stuff. And it filled up really fast last year, so you want to get in there.
Yeah, no, it's very exciting that we're able to bring it back, and we're looking at growing the event, expanding it. So the talk is there about probably running an expanded singles field to have as many players as we can in there. So as Daryl said, it filled up very quick last year. So we're going to offer sort of a pre-registration for the players that played in it last year to give them essentially first dibs if they want their spot back. In the event they don't, then we would open up the registration for other players. So definitely keep an eye on our website. There will be frequent updates there. And then we will do obviously some posts on our end, kind of with probably a 1 week notice that the registration will be open for the public. And then probably look for that early New Year, and that's when we'll start the ball rolling. And hopefully, well, we will be hosting an even bigger, even better Canadian Bowler Open. Very excited to bring it back.
Yeah, and I think the words there, like bigger and better, and that's our aim. We've brought on some help. Bob Seltzer in chat. We've been talking to him quite a bit. He did a great job with helping to run the U.S. Open this year and do some of their marketing and PR stuff. So we're glad to have his help and expertise, and tapping on the shoulders of a few other people just to say, hey, can we get your help? We did find that it was a lot for the two of us to try to run everything. We did get a lot of great helpers, not only in Calgary, but outside as well. But more hands is all we can ask for, because it'll make it a lot easier and a lot smoother. But yeah, expect it to be even better than last year. And yeah, last year was pretty great. I had a great time, despite going home and writing out scorecards and coming home with a claw hand. Carpal tunnel.
Yeah, I think those nights where me and you would get back from the event, be tired, but then we still had to do probably an hour's worth of work writing out scorecards and making sure the draw was 100% correct for the next day. So the more hands, it's going to be helpful come next year. I think we learned a lot, and we did run a survey for the players, so we got a lot of feedback, and we know kind of the things that we need to improve or work on. So we're very excited to incorporate a lot of that feedback and make the event even bigger and better next year, because from that prize pool, we want to have the biggest event in Canada if we can. That's kind of our goal down the line, I think. And it's just going to be steps moving it forward this year. And I think if we can keep pushing it that way, gets as I said, more players potentially in the singles, in the pairs, just will make it a much more enjoyable event for everyone. And obviously the bigger prize money makes it a little more interesting for players coming from across the country. Definitely more on the lucrative side, pay your way, everything like that.
Yeah, I'm excited. It's early days. We've been talking about it for a few months now already, trying to plan out some of the stuff. So once we have more news, we'll be sharing it out with everybody. So definitely make sure you're following us, and especially here on YouTube and on Facebook especially.
Yep. All right. So I don't have anything else on my list, Daryl. Did you have anything else on yours that we needed to cover?
I guess since this is our last show of the year, 2024 is coming to a close. We had a lot of great, cool stuff happen. We just talked about the Canadian Bowler Open, but a lot of successful events went on. Aussie Open, US Open, Hong Kong Classic was really cool to see. In place of some of those bigger events that we're usually kind of keen on seeing, like the Commonwealth Games and World Bowls and those kind of things. Just throw it out to you. What were some of your highlights from 2024?
Put me on the spot there. Oh boy.
Yeah.
Highlights wise, I just liked seeing kind of the emergence of Team Canada internationally. We saw a lot of across the board results because, I guess we didn't cover it yet. The team was announced for the Canadian or the World Indoor Championships, not U25s, but just World Indoor Championships. Don't know if Daryl has pictures.
I do.
He does. There it is.
I forgot about that one.
So Linda Ng and Mike McNorton were selected as the representatives for Canada at the event. So if I'm talking about my highlights of the year, starting with them, beginning of 2024, they went and did very well at the World Indoor last year. They almost won a medal, or did they win a medal in the pairs? I don't remember off the top of my head.
They did.
Linda did win a medal in the singles. So starting there, we have very good results there. And then we kind of move through to all these other things we've talked about, like the Australian Open with Kelly and Emma winning the fours, and then Kelly and Emma winning Hong Kong Classic. Members of Team Canada doing really well at the US Open. And then again, Emma at the World Junior Indoor. Kind of across the board, it was nice to see Canada emerging internationally a little more than they have in the past. So I like paying attention to results, seeing how things sort of shape out. So that was probably my big favorite, was that there was always something we essentially every event had a Canadian doing well or placing in it. Like, I guess Pat Bird there, if I'm not gonna ignore Pat, champion of champions. So very good year across the board for Canada. How about you?
I mean, I guess international stuff aside, seeing what happened with the massive, I'll just say, like, shitstorm of a nationals thing that we had going on, actually seeing a bunch of the provinces kind of pull together themselves and run events for qualification, and then seeing the Canadians actually run. Even if you hated it, even if it wasn't for you or great, it was kind of neat to see something new. And I mean, surprise, surprise, we see similar things happening all over the place. That special singles event that was run in New Zealand was kind of a similar format, really short sets in singles and things like that. I'm glad to see it run. I think it was enjoyable being there, being with players, seeing people at the nationals, and seeing the kind of the reemergence of the Maritimes a little bit in that fashion. It was really neat to connect with people that I hadn't seen in quite a long time at the nationals, that came out of like PEI, New Brunswick. So that was really neat. I really enjoyed I really enjoyed playing in it. I really enjoyed playing against all the people in it, and I thoroughly enjoyed the qualification process. It was 2 grueling weekends in Ontario, but I don't think I've had as much fun in some really tough competition than those 2 weekends in quite a number of years. That was one of my highlights, despite all the crap that was going on around it. I actually enjoyed it. So that was actually one of my highlights.
Yeah, like I would say the word isn't overly enjoy, but I still I agree with a lot of your points that you're making. Seeing people from the Maritimes and then trying something new. I was optimistic to try it. I wasn't as probably green on it as you are or happy about it as you are. I had a lot of issues with sort of the format, and I did enjoy certain aspects of it, but I think kind of the framework, general idea of it was decent intentions behind it. I think that's probably a big topic for us going forward. What's going to happen next year? Because I am part of the committee that's sort of reviewing all of the feedback that was gathered about the event and everything like that. And I know it wasn't overall the most positively reviewed format. If you kind of just think about it from everyone across Canada. So I think we're going to have a lot to talk about whenever the sort of information about next year comes out, because I would expect that coming very soon, because we're already approaching the new year, and we've got provincials probably starting in places in 6 months, and then you have to give them info to obviously the provincial bodies to figure out how they're going to do their playdowns, everything like that. Probably as early as January in the new year is what I'd probably expect the info be available. So going to be a pretty loaded conversation there. I think we'll have a long full show on that one, talking about whatever changes are occurring and seeing what happens provincial wise. But I do agree with what you're saying with like how you did enjoy your full weekends and the competition you guys had out there in Ontario. I think Ontario was probably the one province that really seemed to embrace it or really accept the format for what it was wholeheartedly. And then you guys obviously had pretty good participation, had to play 2 full weekends of it.
Yeah.
There were just the other provinces, and I think it's just the big province versus the small province problems, where I'm from one of the smallest provinces, and we struggled to even get 2 teams to participate in it because a lot of people just see it as impossible to make a team that can stack up against the really competitive bowlers. So yeah, it'll be interesting. I always love bowling. I'll always bowl no matter what the format. I'm kind of the same way as you. I'm just optimistic or hopeful that whatever tweaks are made are just going to make it better across the board for essentially anyone who wants to bowl, development wise, competitive wise, and then just sort of see if we can steer the game in a slightly more positive direction going forward.
Yeah, I agree with you there. So yeah, my big highlight was the play. I haven't played in I played in some grueling events, but the amount of games we played across 2 weekends and the quality of play that occurred across those 2 weekends was pretty cool to be a part of. But I agree with, it was great to try something new, great to experience it, see what went into it. Whether I liked it or not, overall as a format, that's, neither here nor there, but I'm interested to see where it's going to go. I think it was worth a shot. Now we can kind of regroup and say, okay, maybe that wasn't so great. What do we need to change to make it better? And do we need to, is it a blow up? Is it a tweak? Is it just a massaging of the conditions of play kind of thing? What is it that's going to come out of there? So it'll be interesting to see, but I think it was great to be a part of. Even if you hate the idea, I think it was worthwhile just being a part of it. So you kind of got you got more knowledge of it than just sitting there thinking, I hate it, I'm not going to be part of it, and move on. But that was cool. My other, I guess my other highlight was seeing some really cool events. I mean, you have WOBA going on, which is always a great event, but then you had our event starting up, which was brand new. You had the PBO, Pacific Bowler Open, at the indoor starting up, and you had POBO out in Saskatchewan starting up. So a lot of initiatives, whether they went great or not, and how things went, that's going to be seen next year if they run again. But maybe we'll see some more, and that'll be kind of cool. I love the big events. I love the intense competition. So bring it on. Bring more of it, please.
Agreed. Yeah, I love all the bowls as much as there can be. I see all these events as being big stepping stones and things push the game forward across the country. I guess you kind of touched on it earlier. I think we are probably almost wrapping up now. Is that right, Daryl? Yeah. So yeah, we are hitting the end of 2024, going into 2025. From us at the Canadian Bowler, we want to thank all of you for watching. As Daryl said, we did get the Canadian Bowler Open started this year. It was a massive undertaking on our behalf and realistically our family's behalf. I know our wives and children support us very much in the background and kind of let us run with that crazy idea that we initially had to run the event, and we appreciate them very much. So I wanted to thank them and thank all the viewers, because obviously if you guys weren't watching, probably wouldn't be running a tournament where we're trying to attract people from all across North America and the world. So thank you for watching. If you are here, please do hit those buttons. We can't understate how much it means to someone on YouTube to hit those buttons, because if you hit the like, it pushes our video up on people's recommended lists. You hit the subscribe button. It also helps us sort of with the little bit of money that we are bringing in to funnel it into the Canadian Bowler Open. So please do hit those buttons. If you are here, we would really appreciate it. We also have our sponsor, bowlsincanada.com. So please do check them out. They have been super helpful with Canadian Bowler Open, along with just sponsoring the channel and helping us out along the lines here. So please do check out their site. Henselite supplier from North America, great selection, and they're terrific to deal with if you do need to get yourself any products. They are very awesome to deal with. So, Bob in the chat, thank you, Bob. Merry Christmas to you as well. Thank you for the help you're providing us in the background. We look forward to seeing you and working with you over the next little while. And anything else you wanted to add, Daryl, before I wrap up?
Oh, to everybody, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy New Year. We'll see you in 2025, and stay tuned to the show, and check out all our other videos. They're out there. If you're bored, just check them out.
Yes, definitely do go check out our other videos. I guess since the last time we had a show, we did release our video, What is Lawn Bowling? So if you do have anyone that's sort of introing to the sport, or you maybe are running lessons at your club, it's a good little intro video to sort of introduce people to the game and what is lawn bowling. So definitely do check out our other content there, because all the views do help us. We're doing everything we can to sort of put all the little bit of money we're getting from YouTube back into this channel. So we do appreciate it. So thank you for coming here today. And as Daryl said, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year to everyone. And with that, may all your bowls be touchers.